Previously on Power Reviews.
With Database, we've got a Power Ranger.
The fluctuation in the cross-dimensional continuum. If alphabet soup disrupts the tachyon cloud.
What did you just do to this ship?
An alliance by going into the rift.
What was up with all that?
She's not there, Kay. It isn't real.
Same person, different worlds. Spend my days now as a cubicle monkey. Other stuff.
Deciphering codes and uncovering secrets.
Only you can save him.
The directors of Alphabet Soup.
Not you.
He snatched up the little girl.
You lost her.
They're not human.
We didn't keep our eyes on the road. So many shiny colors.
Our master,
The Landlord. She was standing next to the Landlord.
K Alpha.
We can use our biosignatures. It'll lead us straight to her.
And straight to the Landlord. Let the power protect us all.
And now, Database Rangers Power Review.
Greetings, Ranger fans, and welcome to...
The end of the line. What's ahead of us?
Some sort of structure. It's the first thing we've managed to detect since leaving the Tachyon storm.
If our biosignature tracking algorithms are correct, this is the place we've been looking for.
All right then. It's go time. Let's get to the shuttle.
We still do not like this plan.
It's too risky.
Well, it's the only one we've got.
I don't like it either. I should be going with you.
Kay, we've been over this. There's only room for 5 on the shuttle, and we need you here.
But
We all have our parts to play. Guy will pilot the shuttle in and out. Mayo will provide magical support with her tablet. Mitch and Mary will be our heavy hitters with their reformed super demon powers. And, as the Phantom Ranger, I'll be handling stealth and any hand-to-hand combat.
It's morphin' time.
But we need you here to man the ship and be ready for us when we get back. Alphabet Soup may be on our side for now, but we both know the honor system doesn't exactly mean much to these people.
I heard that.
Hey, you put a laser pistol to my head. I haven't forgotten about that. Look, we've got 4 teleporters and a shuttle. We're going to get K Alpha out of there and stop whatever it is the Landlord is planning. Hopefully, Mayo's exorcism spell will be enough, but if it isn't, I'll make sure to charge up the exotic matter beam cannon. Should be good for 1 shot and 1 shot only, so if you have to use it, make it count. Understand?
of course. I did come up with the idea after all.
Just reviewing, I guess. It is what I do, after all.
Please make it back safe.
Don't worry, Kay. We will.
All right, team. Ready for a road trip?
You know it.
Yay, road trip!
The shuttle is fully powered and ready to go.
Then let's get this show on the road.
Oh! Speaking of the road, can we have another story?
Please.
Fine. Reviews do tend to get me in the right state of mind for saving the world, after all.
Yay!
So on our way, let's dive into episode 31 of Power Rangers Jungle Fury. Path of the Righteous.
Our story begins at Jungle Karma Pizza.
Did you say Jungle Karma Pizza?
Yeah, what?
Nothing. I've just always gotten excellent service there.
Karma.
Please, continue.
Anyway, Red Tiger Ranger Casey is up early and setting up tables, when he discovers that White Rhino Ranger Dominic is up just as early as he is. But while Dom's been reading, Casey's mind has been on other matters.
I hate to interrupt, but is it just me, or does the inside of this shuttle feel really familiar?
It's a very fuel-efficient design. Let's leave it at that.
My brain's been going 100 miles a minute.
Seeing his teammates' troubles, Dom recommends taking his mind off things with some reading, explaining how their friend Fran had lent him a copy of To Kill a Mockingbird.
It's a classic story of redemption. One guy stands up for what he believes in, even though the whole town is against him.
Didn't that guy end up losing?
Spoilers!
On the subject of redemption, Casey has some questions for Dominic about Jared, the current host of their arch-nemesis Dai Shi, and apparently Dom's former roommate at the Pai Schwa Academy.
Which, come to think of it, is something you totally would have thought he would have brought up before now, but I guess dating a monkey cloning scientist was more important.
What?
Anyway, Dominic explains that Jared wasn't really a bad guy to begin with, just a lonely kid with a rough childhood. But before he can ask any follow-up questions, he looks up to find that Casey has already disappeared.
Speaking of which, let's head out. Hold tight, everyone.
Evil Fortress, here we come.
And speaking of evil fortresses, down at Dai Shi's temple, Phantom Beast General Snapper is enjoying a buggy breakfast when Camille gets the drop on him using her chameleon camouflage, threatening him with a literal tongue lashing for his previous attempt to destroy her.
And speaking of camouflage...
Right.
So, did it work?
Yep, just like the test runs. The shuttle is just small enough for me to maintain the invisibility field. I just need to keep it up until we get where we're going.
Does that mean no more story time?
No, I'm good. Reviewing will help take my mind off the strain.
Yay!
Under the threat of shell shock, Snapper reveals to Camille that they no longer trust her, since she appears to have fallen in love with Jared himself instead of her master Dai Shi, leading her to question where her own true feelings lie.
Aww.
Back in the Ranger's loft, Theo practices his levitation technique, as he talks with Lily about how disappointed Casey has been since discovering that he was the only one of them to fail his master test.
Wait, the Pai Shui have a levitation technique?
Yeah, it's the specialty of Master Swoop, one of the 3 surviving great masters. Why do you ask?
No reason. Who'd want to learn how to fly when you can learn about pressure points instead?
Okay.
Anyway, Lily wants to still celebrate their successes, and asks Theo what he wants to do for their traditional second Tuesday of the month hangout. Surprisingly, Theo declines, claiming that being masters means that they should focus on their missions instead. Her disappointment, however, suggests that he totally just missed a major signal.
Yeah, I'm sure you wouldn't know anything about that.
What?
My point exactly.
Okay. Why does it seem like the only ones I'm not hearing resentment from right now are the only 2 people in this shuttle who have tortured me with force lightning?
It's important to express yourself.
That's actually what Fran pointed out to Theo.
When she confronts him over him turning down Lily, he claims that it's because Lily clearly isn't interested in him, only for her to turn it around and make him realize that he'd never actually told her how he felt.
So, before we go in, does anyone have anything they want to get off their chest?
No. I already lost my tie.
That's not what Guy, can you take us in? Then let's go.
Just like Casey, racing off into the woods to face off against his arch nemesis, until a blinding light interrupts him.
Actually, could you not do that while I'm laser cutting through the exterior walls of an evil fortress?
Oh, right. Sorry.
Got it.
In we go. Keep your eyes peeled, everyone. This is it. Everyone have their tracking apps ready?
We knocked over all the piggies.
Wrong app, guys.
Oh, sorry.
This is serious. Kay and Mayo designed these apps to lead us straight to K-Alpha, and I doubt the Landlord will be far from wherever she is. We need to be careful. I'll scout ahead, and then double back to let you guys know if there are any traps.
You've got to be kidding me.
Guy! Mitch! Mary!
Are you 3 okay?
We're fine, but I don't see a way around this wall.
Tracking app still working?
Affirmative. We'll continue tracking K-Alpha and meet up with you at her location.
Sounds good. Be careful.
Will do.
Looks like it's just you and me.
Just like Casey and the spirit of Master Mao, who emerged from the mysterious light in the woods.
Really? Now?
Sorry, I'll keep it to myself from here on out.
Casey has a heart-to-heart with his old deceased master, who has managed to stay oddly involved in their lives despite passing on to the spirit world, and the Red Ranger insists that there is still good inside Jared.
He hasn't always been bad.
Yes, that's true. But even I couldn't get through to him.
I mean, I can't say that I'm exactly surprised by that, since I imagine that Jared still has pretty hard feelings over being kicked out of the Pai Shui Academy, considering that his immediate response to Mao dismissing him was to unleash an ancient evil from its captivity, and actually, considering that Mao kept that evil in an unlocked box, I seriously question his judgment overall, although he does raise at least one interesting point.
What you're feeling is guilt.
Guilt?
You feel responsible for Jared's fall. If you hadn't come to the academy...
Then none of this would have happened. Jared and I wouldn't have fought. You wouldn't have kicked him out. And he wouldn't have released Daishi.
Look, I just wanted to apologize.
What, for the trap earlier? Don't worry about it. Could have happened to any of us.
No, not for that. Well, that too, but I just wanted to apologize for getting you into this whole mess. Me and Kay and Guy and Alphabet Soup, we're all from one Power Rangers universe or another. But you didn't ask for any of this. You're not a demon or a secret agent. You were living a normal life. And now you're stuck here in an interdimensional fortress, helping me take out my evil doppelganger.
Hey, you didn't drag me into anything. I chose to be here. And if I recall correctly, Alphabet Soup was only after you because they were trying to get to me.
Huh. I guess you're right.
And besides all that, who said I had a normal life to begin with?
I thought you said you worked at a cubicle job.
Yeah, because I was in witness protection.
Wait, what?
Well, the last guy I was dating kind of got into some trouble, so I may have hacked a federal database or two, maybe brought down a couple cartels.
Cartels?
The FBI set me up with that cubicle job to keep me safe and out of the way. To be honest, I wouldn't want to go back to that office even if I could. You didn't drag me away from a normal life, DB. You saved me from one.
Oh.
Now come on. K-Alpha's signal leads right down the next corridor.
Right.
Undeterred by his old master's words, Casey literally walks right through him, determined to follow his own path and do what he has to do. So about that whole cartel thing.
Maybe that can wait till later.
Oh, good idea.
Casey arrives at the gates of Daishi's temple, which is apparently a thing that can just be walked up to in the regular world, and starts casually plowing through Rinshi left and right, with a pained but determined look on his face.
Mayo, get to safety.
But I can help.
You can help by saving your strength for the landlord. I've got this.
Casey strides into Daishi's throne room, ignoring the powerful roars of his enemy, and insisting that he's come as a friend, determined to free Jared from the warped control of the ancient evil spirit. Unfortunately, Jared doesn't believe in the magic of friendship and immediately attacks, while Camille silently looks on from the doorway.
Ugh, I hate waiting on the sidelines.
There's no turning back now.
Meanwhile, Theo, Lily, and Dom are flipping pizza back at Jungle Karma, when Fran insists that they all take a break to check out the Monders in the loft. Seeing Casey in trouble, they all hurry to help, but RJ pops in to insist that they sit this one out.
This is Casey's destiny.
Ooh, look at the swirly walls. I hate everything about what's happening right now.
In the meantime, Casey and Jared's battle continues.
You're powerful, Casey, but you're no match for Daishi.
Then you help me. Together we can destroy him.
I am him!
Yeah, that's what I thought from the opening credits, but the constant swap between first and third person pronouns is seriously not helping matters.
Whose idea was this again? All right, mine.
I really need to work on coming up with better plans.
With Casey now morphed into the Red Tiger Jungle Fury Power Ranger and Jared in his Black Lion Warrior form, the battle really heats up, as the hand-to-hand combat escalates to jungle chucks, wall smashes, shark sabers, and eventually just whatever weapons Jared can snag off the weapons rack, including the rack itself.
Talk about throwing your weight around.
Casey tries to convince him that Daishi would never have saved Camille, but Jared throws him off and upgrades from Zakato power to Rinzin power to become the Phantom Beast King. In response, Casey activates his Jungle Master mode, but still isn't strong enough, and Jared tosses him around the room, destroying his own throne in the process.
They really should consider
redecorating this place.
I believe we have more important things to focus on right now.
Despite Jared talking up a good game, Casey is finally able to take him down with a strike from his claw booster, reverting him back to his human form. Defeated, he demands that Casey finish the job, but the Red Ranger refuses, showing his human face as well.
I won't destroy you, Jared. You're a human. I'm Paiswa's student. And I care.
No! No! I am Daishi!
If you are Daishi, then destroy me.
With that, he turns his back on him, and Jared looms up behind him to deliver the final strike.
It's okay, it's just me.
Dude, you cannot just sneak up on people like that.
Sorry, I was trying to be quiet. In case you hadn't noticed, it's not exactly safe around here.
It's cool. It's cool. Why did you demorph?
I figured it might make me a little harder to detect. Lower power levels, you know?
Whatever helps keep those demon creeps away sounds like a good idea to me.
Exactly. The last thing we want is another ambush.
Luckily for Casey, Jared can't go through with a behind-the-back attack on an unarmed opponent, and at long last finally manages to reject Daishi's spirit from his body. Not so luckily, Daishi's spirit isn't happy about this, and immediately starts draining Jared of all his Rinsen powers.
This is draining my patience.
So swirly.
At this moment, Camille decides that she can't watch any longer, and dives in to protect Jared in her Phoenix Phantom Beast General form, losing her Rinsen powers in the process as well. Casey then summons his Tiger Spirit to fend off Daishi just long enough to make an escape with Jared and Camille.
We should probably get moving again.
Good idea.
While Daishi sends Scorch and Snapper to chase after his former acolytes, RJ and the other Rangers decide it's time to reunite with their wayward Red Ranger, who has escaped to a random quarry with Jared and Camille, instead of the forest that he passed through to get to the temple in the first place.
No, not that way!
Why not?
That area is still crawling with demons. You do not want to get in the middle of that.
Cue Casey, Jared, and Camille being ambushed by the two Phantom Beast generals. Fortunately, the other Rangers arrive just in the nick of time to rescue them.
Don't worry, K-Alpha. We're on our way.
Casey morphs back into the Red Tiger Ranger, prompting Jared and Camille to transform into their standard Lion and Chameleon forms, and kicking off a big 7-person roll call, where Jared and Camille even get to join in on the taglines, but not on the titles.
With the spirit of the mighty lion! Ha! Ha!
With the cunning of a chameleon! Ha! Hey-ya!
Would a sign or a label really be that hard?
The battle kicks off with Jared and Casey against Scorch, demonstrating a nice mix of teamwork, sweet action choreography, and awesome DBZ-style explosions, as Camille and the others team up against Snapper, shell-shocking the Phantom Beast General into submission with a string of flashy finishing moves.
I think this is it.
Not so fast. I think I saw some more baddies down that way. Come on.
Ugh, these things are like cockroaches!
Oddly enough, despite Scorch getting an even more spectacular finish with a Claw Cannon and Lion Spirit combo, he ends up getting resurrected into a giant by Daishi, while Snapper is promptly forgotten about. Jared and Camille respond by summoning their animal spirits as a pair of new Zords, which honestly feels like an ability that would have been useful for them before now, and then combine with the Ranger Zords to form the ultimate version of the Jungle Pride Charge, with the Black Lion Zord becoming a set of armor, and the Green Chameleon Zord becoming a wrist-mounted weapon. Despite all this, Scorch remains oddly confident for a guy who was just blown up by 2 ground warriors 60 seconds ago.
So you think you can defeat me now?
Jared, Camille, and the Rangers respond by doing just that, delivering Black Lion Energy Blasts, Chameleon Tongue Strikes, a Rhino Horn Flip, and somersaulting Jaguar, Cheetah, and Wolf attacks, before a Savage Spin Slash attack puts Scorch down for the count.
Why do I feel like we're still not getting any closer?
With the Phantom Beast General seemingly done for, the 7 allies celebrate down in the quarry, where Theo shares a brief knowing look with Lily, and Casey is finally rewarded with his Master Stripes tattoo, though he is somewhat bewildered by the sudden change.
Why now? Why not before? A master cannot be a follower. When you chose to defy Master Mao and believe in your own convictions, your path to masterhood became your destiny.
You know what? There's no way around it. We're just gonna have to go straight on through.
Wait, what?
Jared begs forgiveness from the new Tiger Master, offering to accept any punishment he deems appropriate, but Casey refuses, simply saying that they'll need their help in saving humanity from Daishi. However, Jared can't accept this, believing that he and Camille have already done too much damage to be redeemed.
So, I just had a thought. What if K-Alpha doesn't want to be saved?
What?
We have no idea what she's doing out here. She might not even be a prisoner.
It doesn't matter. It's still Kay, even if it's a time-displaced version of her. We still have to try to help.
I'm just saying it might not be that simple.
Well, things definitely just got more complicated.
Back at Daishi's temple, the demon spirit has almost absorbed all the fear he needs to summon his beast army when Scorch suddenly appears, somehow still alive, and offers to lead the Rinchy in finishing the job and eliminating the Rangers once and for all in a final fury.
Yes, now it begins!
And that's the end of the episode. So, what did I think of it? Well, the first thing I have to note in this episode is the excellent action choreography on display here. Once Casey makes his decision to walk straight through Master Mao to forge his own path, it's basically a non-stop, ever-escalating battle sequence that powers straight through the rest of the episode. However, unlike some other battle-heavy episodes in later seasons, it does so without relying on Sentai footage, instead being almost wholly original and very clearly driven by character arcs that have been brewing for almost the entire season. I mean, sure, things were a bit uneven at times. Casey's slow walk through the Rinchy, while quite cool and indicative of how much he's grown as a character, would probably be even more impressive if his character arc throughout the season had been a little bit better executed. His rise to leader early in the season had been somewhat rushed, and his conversation here with Master Mao is the first time that his brief rivalry with Jared has really been referenced since facing the 5 Fingers of Poison. Not to mention the oddly casual reveal of Dominic as Jared's former roommate. Speaking as someone who knows a thing or two about demonically possessed neighbors, that really feels like something they should have discussed before. The Rangers really weren't thinking with their heads on that one. But these are all fairly minor nitpicks that are really more related to the season as a whole than this episode in particular, which really delivers a lot of standout scenes, starting with Dominic's frank and honest assessment of Jared's childhood, moving through the tense confrontation with Master Mao, and carrying straight through Casey's extensive throne room throwdown with Jared. Even the battle itself mirrors the journeys that they've each been through across the course of the season, showcasing all the different power-ups that they've worked so hard to achieve before finally coming full circle back to 2 humans finally taking responsibility for their past actions. And there's just something awesome about taking on your enemy on his home turf. This also marks the culmination of Camille's impressive character arc, with her suddenly recognizing that her loyalty to Dai Shi has transformed into genuine love for Jared, leading her to ultimately reject Dai Shi and her status as a Phantom Beast General to stay by Jared's side and unite with the Rangers, simultaneously allowing her to bring her brief but deadly rivalry with Snapper to an explosive conclusion. We even get a nod to the kindness that Lily once showed her when she comes to the Yellow Ranger's defense mid-battle. The battle with Scorch, on the other hand, some baddies just won't stay down. Unfortunately, each time that Scorch gets blown up, it's less spectacular than the time before, and increasingly less meaningful. This pattern is one that continues into the next episode, where he gets destroyed twice more with such a bare minimum of effort that it makes one wonder how he managed to survive this far. But at least here, we get a cool Zord fight out of the deal. Overall, this is easily one of Jungle Fury's strongest showings, bringing its major character arcs all to a head with a great showcase of action and emotion that really pushes things towards their final conclusions.
Ruby Flash!
When you get right down to it, the only really noticeable flaws are ones that only appear when you look at it in proper context.
Database?
Mayo, get away from him!
No. Please. Stay.